what is a belief? This is really important because it's what all of this is based on, right? If our genetic expression is really a component of what our beliefs are, what is a belief in the first place? A belief is simply a decision that we've made about reality based on our interpretation of a past experience. In other words, here we all are, all of us sitting in this room. I guarantee you that no two of us have the exact same beliefs, because you know what? We all grew up in different conditions, situations. We've all had different events in our lives, might be similar, but we've grown up in different environments, and so we've created these lenses in which we see reality through that have created our beliefs, right? So a belief is, again, a decision we've made about reality simply based on interpretation of past experience. We can also say that a belief is a thought plus an emotion. In other words, beliefs are very emotionally charged, aren't they? Have you ever had the experience of really feeling a conviction within yourself about something that you believe, and then you're trying to convince your friend or your foe that your belief is right? You just have this emotional charge around it. This is very important because we also know that a belief from the last presentation on Kicking Your Cravings is literally a chemical signature in the brain. So you have the thought, and then that chemical signature, remember, helps to create the emotional component of it. So those two go together. And then finally, here we are in Silicon Valley, so I like to use the analogy as well that a belief is literally a program in this bioprocessing computer that we call our brain. Okay? So the amazing thing about beliefs is that all of us have this ability to take an experience that we have in life and then create meaning out of that experience, right? And then from that experience, and the meaning that we create out of it is either empowering or disempowering. Think about it. There's the neutral space in between, but in general, the meaning that we make out of our experiences in life are either empowering or disempowering. Here's an example. Viktor Frankl, who was a Holocaust survivor, and he wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. What he discovered is, as a Holocaust survivor, that all the Holocaust survivors shared one belief in common. I thought this was really fascinating when I read this. This was Tony Robbins. Any of you familiar with him? He talks about this in one of his books. And so anyways, all the Holocaust survivors shared one belief in common, and that belief was that they really felt that they were saved from this horrible experience, or that they survived this atrocity in order to come back to their home and to tell the world of the injustice so that this would never happen. They felt so convicted within themselves that they survived because they were the chosen ones, so to speak, to share so that this would never have to happen again in the world. And that was the one thing that Viktor Frankl found, was the shared belief. So here's an example of a group of people who took an experience, a horrible experience. You know, it's you know, we can't even speak of it hardly. And then they took that experience and they made a meaning of it. But the meaning that they made of that experience was very empowering. They knew, I'm going to power myself up from this experience and possibly change humanity, change what happens in the world. So that's an example of how our beliefs either empower us or disempower us. It's a very important thing to think of. So in other words, to me, as a coach, when I'm working with my clients, I don't really worry about whether I believe what my client believes or not. I mean, it doesn't really even matter. That's not a question at all. My question is that belief empowering to that client? Is that belief going to help them move forward on their journey, right? There's some challenge. Oh, actually I have a quote that I want to tell you first, by William Shakespeare. This is a good one. There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Sort of says it all, I think. So there's 4 challenges with beliefs, right? And this is very, very important, because when we get into this discussion of beliefs and are we sabotaging our health, heck, are we sabotaging our life? We need to look at the challenges with beliefs. And the first one is that most of us don't consciously decide what it is that we're going to believe. And that's because our beliefs are literally programmed into us by the time we're about 7 years old. So those of you who have kids or small kids can probably really relate to this one. Our beliefs we get our beliefs from our primary caregivers. So whether that is your mom and your dad, your brother, your aunts and uncles, your daycare providers, or your grandparents, whoever that was, whoever the most influential people were in your life in those early years were the people that you gained your beliefs from. Why? Why is that? Well, as a child, children, small people, don't have the capacity yet to question what is true and what isn't true, right? Isn't this why kids believe in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny? That huh? Oops. Secrets out of the bag. So as a young person, up until about the age of 7, they don't have the capacity yet to question whether a belief is true. So they're going to believe everything their mom tells them. Their dad tells them, oh, you're cute little chubby Susie. You know, so they grow up thinking that they're always chubby. Or, you idiot, you can't do anything right. You know, their dad is always telling you that. Yeah, so that's what gets programmed into your mind as what the truth is. All right, so we don't consciously decide pretty much from a young age what to believe. About 90% of our beliefs are programmed at a young age. Next, many beliefs are based simply on a misinterpretation of a past experience. A personal example for me is me witnessing my mom with her brothers and sisters. She has 5 other brothers and sisters, and they had the same parents, right? And there are a couple of the brothers and sisters who have completely different beliefs about my grandparents and who they are. There's some of them believe, oh, they were great parents, and there's a few that believe, oh, they were the worst parents in the world. What's that about? They grew up in the same house, had the same parents, had the same experiences with those parents. It's just a different interpretation. They just interpreted it differently. So many of our beliefs are based on misinterpretations of past experiences. Interesting to note. We treat our beliefs as if they're reality. That's when we're really convicted and feel like this is so true. This is my belief. We treat our beliefs as if they're reality. That's another challenge. And then probably the biggest challenge with beliefs is that we never question them. Or rarely, I shouldn't say never, but rarely. How many times do we walk through life questioning ourselves about our beliefs? Do we do that too often? No. Most of the time we walk through life thinking that what we believe is true. But what would it be like if we were to question our beliefs?